regarding the very possibility of this country being handed over to the military in the event the regime collapsed in July of 2024.
Is Kenya tiptoeing toward a military takeover?
And that is the time our Kenyan military people, personnel, our brothers and sisters will give a hand to help us from virtual breakdown.
Officially, there are no signs of a coup, but the whispers in government corridors tell a different story.
Minister, once the forces are deployed, what self-propelling mechanism has the National Security Council put in place to ensure that once they are deployed, they do not roll into taking over government?
The mere mention of a possible military coup has sent shockwaves through the political establishment, thanks in part to none other than Raila Odinga, who dramatically claimed he helped President William Ruto escape a coup attempt on June 25th, 2024.
And my party leader has addressed certain possibilities given histories in other places, including Sudan and Egypt. What, in your view, or in the view of the ministry, was inaccurate in the report by the Daily Nation regarding the very possibility of this country being handed over to the military in the event the regime collapsed in July of 2024?
Now cue the frenzy. Suddenly, coup discussions are dominating Kenya's political discourse, forcing government officials to dig deeper into the unspoken question: could it really happen? Now, amid the rising fears, Defense Minister Soipan Tuya has found herself in the hot seat, defending the Kenya Defense Forces KDF against allegations that they might be eyeing the seat of power. Appearing before the Senate, Tuya was firm. Kenya's military is professional and has no interest in overthrowing the government.
To the extent that the article referred to a military coup, I can only say that it is indeed baseless, it is inaccurate and reckless.
In a direct rebuttal to Raila's claims, Tuya dismissed the idea of a brewing coup as mere political speculations. She doubled down on the KDF's role as guardians of national security, rather than political players, insisting that the army remains disciplined and loyal to the constitution.
But allow me to go to question 2, which is asking on what the modalities for involvement of KDF in internal security matters is. Mr. Speaker, aside from the provisions of the Constitution, we have the Kenya Defense Forces Act, which elaborately enumerates requirements for KDF participation in internal security operations. Under the Constitution, the KDF is strictly bound by the principles of national security as defined under Article 238 of the Constitution, which is they have to be subject to the authority of the Constitution and Parliament, and that the national security activities must be carried in strict compliance with the law and with utmost respect for the rule of law, and that in performance of its functions and exercise of their powers, the KDF shall respect the diverse culture of the communities within Kenya.
But here is the real scandal. While brushing off coup fears, Tuya dropped a bombshell of her own. Kenya is currently crawling with fake military generals. According to her testimony, civilians have somehow gained access to official KDF's uniform, military emblems, and even forged recruitment letters, using them to scam innocent Kenyans of their hard-earned money with the promise of lucrative army jobs.
Sometime late last year, we got a fully fledged notification of recruitment with the all the logos of the KDF and the ministry published out there.
And the most jaw-dropping part is these fraudsters aren't just petty criminals. They are posing as high-ranking military generals.
And we had no such recruitment going on. So we have fraudsters out there who dupe Kenyans into believing that actually we have Kenyans masquerading as generals out there with full uniform, full ranks, and the likes. With that said, Mr. Speaker, I cannot also say that there are no challenges that we need to address with the system of recruitment. And I want to say that the Defense Council, which I chair, is currently working on a watertight system of recruitment, because the principles of national security that I mentioned, one of the key principles of national security is that the recruitment by the national security organs must reflect the diversity of the Kenyan people and must be in equitable proportions. We are working round the clock, and I know there is, without preempting, there is a question that has been raised on the same by this House, and when the time comes, I'll give details on the measures we are taking to seal the loopholes that do exist with our recruitment processes. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, how did these imposters get their hands on KDF gears? Is this an inside job? And if fake generals can walk freely in Kenya, does this expose cracks within the country's military intelligence? While the Kenyan government insists that a military coup is nothing more than a baseless rumor, the emergence of unauthorized civilians parading around in full KDF regalia raises serious security concerns.
Hii mtu ni bure kabisa hii. Wewe ni bure kabisa. Unaumiza mwenzako.
Are these just opportunistic scammers, or is there a deeper rot within the system? Now, if fraudsters can infiltrate Kenya's defense identity this easily, what does that say about the real vulnerabilities within the military? For now, the idea of a military coup remains just a rumor. However, for the Kenyan security apparatus, they really have some explaining to do, especially in regards to civilians having access to military regalia.
Hii ni kuashiria mbinu ambazo wanatumia kukuja ili kuweza kufanya kabisa, ikiwa meli ile nyingine bado inaendelea kutokota.